you have seen everything Dubrovnik has to offer? Think again. Just across the border lies Montenegro, a land of dramatic black mountains and the deepest fjords in southern Europe. I'm so happy I've got shrimps today. From the dizzying heights of the medieval stone walls in Kotor to the serene postcard perfect shores of Perast, this is a journey through history and high drama landscapes. In this video, we will explore the scenic border crossing route, exploring the medieval streets of Kotor and Perast, the Lady of the Rocks Island, and we will explore whether it is actually worth a day trip from Dubrovnik. Stay tuned for our local recommendations of these places and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. It's 6:30 in the morning and we are waiting for our bus for a day trip to Montenegro. The city is just stirring. The sun is yet to come. The street lights are on. It's very early. We're looking forward to this trip to Montenegro.
We have started our journey for Montenegro. We are going towards Old Town, Dubrovnik now. Let's see when we reach to the border. It is essential to have a multi-entry Schengen visa in order to do this day trip from Dubrovnik to Montenegro. The reason being, Montenegro is not a part of the Schengen visa area. You need to stamp your passport while going out from Dubrovnik and enter into Montenegro. Similarly, when you come in, you need to stamp your passport for checking into the Schengen area again.
Because some mornings we come and there are 8 buses in front of us. So how it knows to be, this is very good. So the expecting waiting time is around half an hour.
After the initial checking out from the Schengen area at the Croatian border, we are now moving towards the Montenegro border area. The reason why their border crossing takes a little bit of time is because at the Montenegrin border, the checking is purely manual for all the passengers in the bus. This will mean that all the passports will be stamped manually before letting the bus inside Montenegro.
Because sometimes we wait maybe 2 hours at the border. But today it was good because we got there before the other buses. Maybe you saw at the Croatian border how many buses came after us. So it is very good. And now we're making our way to our coffee stop. I will show you now in a second. You can see on the left side, you have a gas station here with a shop, a coffee shop and a bathroom. And next to it you have a coffee shop also with a bathroom. In this coffee shop they have the best croissant. We are at Montenegro right now. After crossing the border, we have stopped coffee bar by the way to have some croissant and coffee. That's all. This is our bus. Everyone is waiting here just to coffee break and a toilet break. Hi. Notice that the country is surrounded by tall mountains which are densely packed with dark trees. this making it appear from a bird's eye point of view how they were flying into Montenegro, black, like black mountains. Therefore they called it Montenegro, black mountains, or Crna Gora, how we call it here. Can you say this for me? Okay, well done, like locals. Okay, so a little bit about the history of Montenegro. After World War I, Montenegro lost its independence, and in 1918 it was annexed into union with Croatia, Serbia and Slovenia, later called the Kingdom of Yugoslavia. This was underneath the leadership of Tito. During World War II, Germany and Italy were occupying the country of Montenegro, and eventually after World War II, Montenegro, together with 5 other republics, formed the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. So, part of Yugoslavia, these 6 republics were Croatia, Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, Slovenia and Macedonia, also underneath the leadership of Tito. So while Montenegro were underneath his leadership, they highly benefited from this because at that time they had the strongest passport in the whole world. They could travel to every country in the world except for 2, Cuba and Greece, without a visa, which is a dream for many people today because getting a visa is a long and stressful process. So eventually in 1992, Yugoslavia broke up, but Serbia and Montenegro stayed together in union underneath the leadership of Slobodan Milosevic. They stayed together until 2006, when Montenegro finally gained its independence after more than 80 years of being part of Yugoslavia and being in union with Serbia. So when in 2006, when Montenegro gained its independence, they changed their flag. From the flag it used to be a red, white and blue flag like Serbia's, to the flag it is today, a red flag with a gold border and an eagle in the middle, spreading its wings, symbolizing the strength, power and freedom of the people in Montenegro.
Prawn and oyster farming are a specialty of this region, as we see here.
Beautiful. Some people say that the town of Perast is the most photogenic town in the whole world, and I highly agree with this because it truly is beautiful. From Perast is around 230 people on George Island, and this is actually a monastery, and unfortunately they are not accepting visitors on this island. But the second island next to it with the blue roof, this is the Lady of the Rocks Island.
We reached our first destination, Kotor, at 10 o'clock.
So right now we are standing in front of the main city gate, or commonly referred to as the sea gate, built in the 15th century. The reason why it is called the sea gate is because back in the day, around 10 meters in front of the city walls, the ships would actually dock. So there is even a stone, if you take a look, there is a stone in between these 2 palm trees where the ships would dock back in the old times. After the 19th century, this area was artificially constructed over a beach, and today we have our marine all the way over there. If you take a look at the city gate itself, it does have a few strange inscriptions for a gate that's put on a city dissolved. So there is the communist star put there by Josip Broz Tito, the president of former Yugoslavia, which Montenegro was a part of. It was put on the 21st of November 1944 after city got liberated from the fascists. And they also put an inscription over there tuđe nećemo, svoje ne damo, which when translated means we don't want what's yours, but we sure as hell aren't going to give you what's ours, referring to our cultural and historic heritage that was under threat from the fascists. 3 flags were also put there. UNESCO flag, which was put in 1979 after a series of earthquakes we had here. Montenegrin flag, which is in the middle, and the flag of the city of Kotor at the far right. The walls that you can see on either side of the city gate are 4.5 kilometers long and go to the very top of the hill of St. John. Now, if you'd like, and if everyone is ready, we can slowly continue to the main square. City square, it's commonly referred to by the locals the Square of Arms, ili Trg oružja, in my language. The reason why it is called Square of Arms is because you see that building over there at the very bottom of the square with 4 green windows. That was the place where the storage room was for arms, weapons, gunpowder and everything else that would be needed when the city would come under siege. Most famously got under siege by Hayreddin of Turkey, Hayreddin Barbarossa to be more precise, not to be confused with Friedrich of Germany. Now, on this square there are a few other buildings I would like to point out. There is the leaning, as we locals like to call it, the leaning clock tower of Kotor. If you take a closer look, it does lean a few degrees to its western side and the city gate. The reason for that is back in 1979 we had a large earthquake here that made the very foundations sink. Below which you'll find the pillar, the infamous Pillar of Shame, so it's the small structure underneath it, and it was the place where in the 13th and 14th century, so Middle Ages, people who committed acts that wouldn't make them go to jail, acts such as adultery, they would get shackled there, and the people would actually go to the flea market that's situated back on the outside of the walls and buy fruits and vegetables and throw it on the poor people. Now, the last building I would like to just cover is the Providor Palace. So it's the building with the large 44-meter long balcony. It used to be the home of the governor of Kotor, who used to come from Italy or then Venetian Republic, and he would live, stay there and rule the town from there. In the Venetian Republic he was called Providor, and that's why the palace till this day kept the name Providor Palace and not Guvernerova or Governor Palace. At the Flower Square, it's one of the smaller squares in town, and it's the place where the villagers back in the day would come. They would come from outside of the city walls, bring their grain here, set up their flea market, and sell the grain to the citizens of Kotor, who would in turn make homemade bread and mix it with fish and other food that was eaten at the time, and that still Kotor is famous for. Now, in this square you can find 2 palaces. On my right-hand side you can find the Bucha Palace, which is considered to be one of the best preserved palaces in town, having survived all the major earthquakes. Back in 60-67 there was a major earthquake here, so 1 year after the Great Fire of London, if any of you might come from England, and that's where the most of the town was destroyed. If you take a look at it, the palace, it's still preserved in its baroque side from the outside and also from the inside. However, it was closed off several years back, and it's no more accessible to go and see it from the inside. On the other side you can find Palace Bucha, which unlike the previous one, it did get damaged during the most previous earthquakes. And if you take a look at it, the facade is fairly new, and it's one of the main reasons why UNESCO actually came to town in 1979 to protect the buildings being reconstructed the way this one was reconstructed back in 1979. Here you can find one of the oldest pharmacies in the whole country. So ever since the Venetian period, this was the place where the pharmacy was being, the property where the pharmacy was being held. Also on top of it you can find two inscriptions in both scripts that are used in my countries. On the right hand side you can find pharmacy in Latin, and in the left hand side in my own language. At the square of the cathedral, this large church behind me is the Cathedral of Saint Tripun. Saint Tripun is the patron of Kotor and the protector of our city. The very cathedral is considered to be one of the oldest cathedrals in Europe, being put there. The church first was put there in the 9th century, and then the cathedral we know today was built in 1166, so the number on the right, bell tower. So people, it is older than both St. Paul's Cathedral in London and Notre Dame in Paris. If you take a look over the bell towers, you'll see that the cathedral isn't quite symmetrical either. So this bell tower was built in the Romantic style, while this one was built in the Baroque style. The reason for that is the many earthquakes we had in town. So in 60-67, when the first major earthquake happened, this bell tower fell and it had to be reconstructed. But back in the day, that's when Baroque was fashionable. So they put the other bell tower in the other in the other way. Now this one, if you take a look at it, it does look more modern, if you like, and the reason for that is it was damaged back in 1979, so the newest earthquake we had in town, and it had to be refurbished again. Now I like to tell people that this square is sort of a city in a small footprint. You can find all sorts of architectural styles here. You can find the Austro-Hungarian style at the city hall from the early 20th century. Also, the cathedral behind me. The palace was bought by a family of Grgurina that came from Croatia to live in Kotor, more precisely from Istria. They bought this place, but after the head of the family, the father, died, because he didn't have any offspring, his children died, he decided that he's going to leave it to Kotor, because Kotor at the time was a city-state. Then the building was turned into an orphanage until the 1940s, so Second World War, when the partisans came and refurbished it once more to be the City Maritime Museum. Today we have only two maritime museums, one of which is situated here in Kotor and the other one is in Perast. And at the very top of it there is the fortress of Sveti Ivan, or Saint John, or San Giovanni in the local dialect of Tarampana was the only water source in the town during during the history, and it is the place, you can come here a bit just to open up the street. So It was the only water source, and the tale goes that women back in the day, when they would come to carry the water, they lost it, and usually whatever thing would happen in town, it would get to Karampana, and the people there would mingle and spread the gossips. That's why it's one of the main reasons why today the newspaper of Kotor is called Karampana, and every year when we have our carnival, somebody ends up in Karampana. It's usually the politicians. And we are standing at the last square for today. This is the square of churches, and on this square you'll find the only two Orthodox churches in town. St. Nicola from the 20th century, early 20th century, being the newest addition to town, and it was built in the Byzantine style. Also St. Luca from the 13th century, the second oldest church in town, second only to the Cathedral of St. Tripon. So there is a strange story about St. Luca. It used to be a Catholic church, then during its history, it had at a certain amount at a time in history, it had two altars inside. So it had the Catholic one on the left side and the Orthodox one to the right. Now, if you remember Khairuddin Barbarossa, I talked about in the main square. He came with his army from Turkey and made the city under siege. The citizens of Kotor at the time were primarily Catholic, and they needed help to defend from the invader. They then decided to call from outside of city gates, because they were living outside, the Orthodox people of our country. And what happened is that they opened their gates, welcomed them inside, but those people needed somewhere to pray, and they built them another altar. Now they managed to defend the town, and after that the Catholic community of country of the city gifted the whole church to the Orthodox community. Now on this square there is yet another church. Maybe some of you would like to try and pinpoint out. So another one, the third one. So it's our Lady of Salvation, the one carved into the rocks. You can see it from here in between the houses, and it was put there after a major plague outbreak we had in our town. Because people back in the day, they were very religious, and they decided to build a church to the Lady of Salvation that saved them from plague. Now, if any of you want to go to Our Lady of Salvation, so you take this road to the right, go to the very end of the street, you'll find a church there, go around it, you'll see a large door with a coat of arms, and there will be a person waiting for you to charge you 15 euros to go to the upper city walls. The walk there is around 20 minutes if you feel up for some exercise. Now, if not, we can slowly continue back to the main square.
In this medieval city of Kotor, you will find cats everywhere in the city. So much so that there is a museum dedicated to them in the city of Kotor. If you are feeling adventurous, you may even climb the walls of Kotor for a bird's eye view. While walking towards the walls of Kotor, we found this pathway which is so slippery that it looks almost polished by usage. We decided to retrace our steps back for fear of falling on this polished pathway.
We are here at Scala Santa. We literally hopped and searched through this town in order to get to this restaurant.
Hard luck, as this entire place was booked by a group for that particular day, so we had to choose another place to take our meal.
So we are at the second place. Let's check if we can get our fish over here.
How much it will come? Just I tell you now. Give me now. Okay.
I'm loving the experience.
Salmon for me. And
Shrimps for me. Huge shrimps for me.
have currently reached the island of the Lady of the Rocks. It's a church along with a mausoleum. We have taken a boat ride from Kotor to come to here. The ride was very beautiful. You briefly touch the Bay of Kotor while coming. This island is, by the way, a man-made island. The two brothers saw Virgin Mary in their dreams, and they have taken the help of other Montenegrins to deposit rock on the seabed in order to create an artificial island where they have made this church. And every year in Montenegro there is a festival where the people of Montenegro bring rocks in their boats and deposit it around this island so that the island can be here perpetually. And because of the deposit of rocks every year, this island is gradually becoming bigger and bigger. The primary advantage of visiting this island is you have excellent views on all sides, and you are in the middle of the Bay of Kotor, and you see the black mountains for which Montenegro is so famous all around you. And it's like this beautiful scenery all around. Just a beautiful place to spend your time. If you want to go inside the church, you have to pay an entry fee of €3, and if you are part of a group, usually it is €2. But we are giving it a skip because the views are so beautiful outside. You're not feeling like going inside any longer. And you can see Perast from here. Perast is a Venetian city, and it has got Venetian architecture, and very beautiful on the other side of the Lady of the Rocks.
Okay, everybody. So if you take your attention in front of us, does everyone see where the market is? Where the market is? Does everyone see where the market is? Okay, so this will be our meeting spot, okay? In front of market at 3:30, okay? In front of market at 3:30. What time? Where? Okay.
We have reached our final destination for the day, Perast, which is a small coastal town. It is also famous for its Perast cake. So we just took one of them as a takeaway. And we just had a beautiful elaborate lunch, so not very hungry right now. Beautiful town.
As we retrace our steps from Perast back to Dubrovnik, you let us know in the comments section whether you will take this day trip because we feel it is really worth your time. Thank you. See you in the next episode.